Guys, there's not a lot to talk about today. Not a lot to talk about. We're ramping up to the NFL draft, which happens in like under 2 weeks, I guess you could say. And we are on the road to the draft. And obviously there's a lot of speculation about who's going to go where. Where's Justin Fields going to go? Where's Mac Jones going to go? We already know where Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are going to go. They're going to go 1 and 2 respectfully. So what happens to the rest? But there's one guy in particular that's kind of been, I don't want to say undervalued, because earlier in the season he was getting a lot of hype, but it's kind of died down. It's kind of gotten a little bit quiet over the past couple of weeks and a couple of months and stuff. Justin Fields had a tremendous couple of pro days. Trevor Lawrence looks good. Zach Wilson looks good. Mac Jones looks all right. So this man, you probably already know who I'm talking about. This man's kind of gone underneath the radar, and now is kind of getting a little bit of hype back into him as we inch even closer to the NFL draft. And that man's name is Trey Lance. Now, I don't know, I'm going to be honest, I don't know a ton about Trey Lance. I know that he obviously went to North Dakota State University, the same college where Carson Wentz went. And if we're judging off of how a North Dakota State quarterback fared in the NFL, and we only have Carson Wentz to look at, it's not looking so great for Trey Lance. Carson, I've already mentioned this, I don't know where, I've mentioned this on a few things. I have lost complete faith in Carson Wentz. I don't think he's going to ever be at all any good. So, and I know that Trey Lance is a different person and a different quarterback and a different style than Carson Wentz is. But, I mean, North Dakota State University, let's be real. There's no competition. They win the championship like every single season. There's really no competition. There's no... Yeah, it's still college football. It's still guys going at it at 100% every single week. It's still competition. But let's be real, guys. There's not... You can't take North Dakota State and the stats that he puts up there and compare them to Mac Jones or Justin Fields. It's totally different. It's apples and oranges at this point. Because Justin Fields and Mac Jones have played against the top of the top. Trey Lance hasn't done that. And yes, Carson Wentz did the exact same thing, and he turned out to be an all right quarterback for a couple seasons until the past like 2 or 3 seasons he's completely died off. But I mean, maybe that's how these small school quarterbacks work. Maybe they have success for the first couple of seasons of their career because the offenses in the NFL are still working to figure out how they play and how they work, and then they eventually get figured out. And if they can't adjust, then they're not going to work. They're just going to be a sucky quarterback, which is what Carson Wentz has become. And yes, he's had injuries, and I know the whole story about Carson Wentz. But I just don't think he's that good of a quarterback anymore. So if that's how it's going to work for Trey Lance, he's going to have a couple of good seasons in the NFL, and then he's going to go and just die down like Carson Wentz did. Or maybe he'll completely change my mind, and he'll reverse that trend of just one quarterback. And I don't even know if it's a trend at that point. But maybe he'll have a few good seasons and then keep it going. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I can't say. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future. So I don't know what's going to happen. My personal prediction is that Trey Lance goes in the late first round. He probably falls. You know how yesterday we were talking about Justin Fields not slipping to the Steelers at 24? That's where I think Trey Lance could go. Lamar Jackson a couple of years ago fell to the last pick of the first round, I think, to the Ravens. So it is possible for a highly touted quarterback to go late in the first round. So maybe Trey Lance, he's kind of an unfinished product. He's kind of like a piece of clay that you can mold into what you want. Maybe the Steelers decide to have him as the third string behind Haskins and behind, obviously, Big Ben. Maybe he gets to learn a little bit, has a couple battles with Haskins, fights it out for that second string spot, and then when Big Ben goes, it's up for grabs. Maybe Trey Lance is the guy. Maybe Haskins turns his life around and he's the guy. Who knows with Pittsburgh? But I think that Pittsburgh could be a spot, the perfect spot for Trey Lance, because he's not ready for the NFL. Carson started week 1. He did fine. And now look what happened. Yeah, he's had injuries. Yeah, I know the story. I've said that before. I don't think that Trey Lance is ready to start week 1. He needs to learn behind a quarterback, whether that be Ben Roethlisberger or whoever drafts him. I don't think he needs to start this next season. Guys like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, they're all going to start day 1. Unless Justin Fields gets drafted by like the 49ers, then he might compete with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. Whoever the 49ers draft, if it's a quarterback, probably doesn't start week 1 because of Jimmy Garoppolo, unless they just trade Garoppolo. I don't know. But Wilson starts, obviously. Trevor starts, obviously. If Fields goes anywhere besides the 49ers that is in need of a quarterback, he obviously starts. Same for Mac Jones. So I think that Trey Lance is the only first-round quarterback that needs to sit behind somebody. I would prefer to see Mac Jones sit and learn from somebody. I don't think he's a finished product just yet. He's not a Trevor Lawrence. He's not a Justin Fields. I don't think he's a finished NFL product yet. I think he needs a year or two to learn the NFL system, and then he may turn out to be a pretty good quarterback in the future. I don't think he's ready yet. So that's just my opinion. So if the 49ers take him, that'd probably be the best situation for him to sit behind Garoppolo, learn the system, have a year. If Garoppolo gets hurt, then you got a solid quarterback as your backup to go in there and win you a game. I think Mac Jones could win you a game in the NFL. I don't think he's ready to take control of a franchise, but Trey Lance needs to get drafted by a team that has an established quarterback. He needs to learn the offense, sit behind him for a year, maybe 2, get established in the NFL, learn what's going on, learn how it all works, and then whether it be an injury or just it's time for the quarterback that's ahead of him to retire or move on, or just he's not good enough right now, and then Trey can take over. He can take the reins, he can start out, and then I think he'll be a solid quarterback. If you put him out there week 1, he may look good. He may look good for half a season or a full season. But can he sustain that? I don't think that he can. I don't think that he can sustain it. Coming from a small school like that, I don't think that Trey Lance can sustain excellence for more than a full season if he starts week 1 in his rookie year. I think he needs to sit. I think he needs to learn the NFL system, learn the offense that he's in, and then he'll be good to go. I think he could be a good quarterback if he does what I say. Like if he's done what I've said, then I think he could be a good quarterback. But that's just my opinion. Let me know down below what you guys think as well. Do you think that Trey Lance needs to start day 1? Or do you think that if you agree with me, if you think that he can start after he sits for a year or 2, or half a year even, and just learns sometime that he gets to learn the offense during the season? I don't want him to start week 1 and be thrown to the wolves. So let me know down below what you guys think. If you think he's going to be good, let me know. If you think he's going to be bad, let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.